What is it, season 3 of Jury Duty in here? No, it's Who's the Bitch? We're talking about who is the bitch today. And is that bitch Kara? Because she forgot she had jury duty.
Jesus
She's got
Christ.
jury duty this week.
Just as I was about to start
We were
recording
about
this
to
episode, I looked at my calendar and went, shit, I have jury duty this
Not
week.
jury duty.
God.
No.
I mean, it's mostly like you check in. It's mostly like you check in online and then they tell you, a lot of times they just tell you don't have to come in, but I didn't do that.
You know who the bitch is? Your
Oh,
civic
God.
duty.
Now I'm-
All of our civic duties are the bitch. I'm going to say this because we are in, a tax season as well. So all of our civic duties are the duties this week, all right? Shit on it. I'm taking my civic duties and I'm putting them in the toilet. But you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it because you're too good. You're too good. And again, I know a lot of people out there love the jury duty. And I think that
I never have gotten picked. I
You've
don't
never
think I
gotten
ever
picked?
would. I mean, come on. I'm like literally have like a podcast about thinking I know about the law. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of dumb.
You
I don't
hope.
think they're going to put me on there.
you hope they
If
don't
I'm like,
want that.
actually, I know that the justice system is incredibly biased towards people of color. Like, I'm sure they'd be like, good night.
And I know that because I've watched
you later.
every episode of
Yeah.
SVU like 1,000
Yeah.
times.
I'll be like, is that a
so-
statute of limitations issue? And then I would be.
I don't
Oh,
think that they kick you
God.
off just for liking SVU, though. I think you have to have a
I
little
know,
bit more
but
than that. You
I
got to
got
be
hundreds of hours of me talking about the law.
True. And you're not
don't know.
we can't say on here that you're going to lie when you're at jury duty to get out of it. The problem is they don't pay you enough to be able to miss work. What are you supposed to do?
I know.
That's
Well,
where the bitch is.
I'm
Give us
here.
a better fee.
I'm here for you guys on Who's the Bitch. I'm Kara Clank.
I'm
We're
Jackie
here.
Zabrowski. Yeah, we're here. We're not at jury
I'm
duty.
skipping jury duty for you guys today.
Thank you so much for
and-
doing that for us.
Yeah, and today is the day we're recording this is
420. Although
What's up?
it's a holiday that means nothing to you, Kara. Don't try
It
to
doesn't mean anything to
cosplay
me.
my culture.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, your culture is not my costume.
Yeah, thank
I'm just saying. I was sure acting like it was on the Jackin stream a week ago. This is our first time recording since we did Listen, the first time I did Jackin, I was a champ. Nothing happened. It was great. Then the
Yep.
second time, Mama forgot to eat.
Oh, did she?
I just fucking thought we were gonna eat halfway through. I was so stupid.
It was so funny. And actually, Kara, you did bring your own Who's the Bitch to the episode because while Kara, to be fair, Kara never smokes weed. And during this, you had brought your huge compact case
I brought
of
a case
CDs.
Logic full of my CDs all the CDs I've ever owned.
And we were
since
going through
teenhood.
all the alphabetized soundtracks. We're talking, it had every single booklet in there. We were having a blast until Kara got to the point where she said, I don't smoke weed, but I could do a shotgun from you. And for those of you that are not weed aficionados, a shotgun in reference to smoking weed is when someone takes a hit of weed and you blow the hit of weed into
someone's
their
face. And I'm like, it's secondhand. How high could I get?
How high can you get? But here's the thing.
Pretty high, it
we were
turns
doing
out.
a really good job of it. And Kara and I were blowing the smoke through the CD
hole.
And we were throwing it through.
So it was essentially like I was just taking like bong hits out of a little CD tube, essentially.
And also giving everybody a thrill, which was very funny because both of our husbands were like, you didn't take any clips of that? Because I guess it did look like maybe we were kissing, but we weren't. We were doing shotguns. And I did think it was funny. Both of our husbands asked separately if
Is there any footage of
no,
that?
no clips, nothing that we can look at from this. And I got you too stoned. And I felt like I was the
not
bitch
your fault.
in this situation.
I'm a grown-ass woman.
I got her too
You didn't
stoned.
force me to do anything.
And then I remember because you wanted to take another shotgun and I said, I think it's time for a water shotgun instead. And you said, who's the bitch? It's Jackie for trying to control my life.
Yeah, I think I went very quickly from zero
Trying to control
you're
my
not
life.
my mom.
It was
Mom.
so funny. And then you put
my
it to
God.
the chat and,
And
said,
everybody in the chat was like, drink some water,
drink
bitch.
some water, because literally the poll that Kara asked for was water or nah. And everybody in chat voted water.
Of course. I guess they care about me living.
Kara walked her ass off the set of Jackin.
I walked off the set, but let's be honest, it was because I needed to throw up. It was not because I needed to
take a minute.
I was because I was so pissed that the listeners wanted me to drink water.
But I do think that it's funny though, because on this our 420, although if you did watch our 420 special last year, Henry and I did a good pud special called 520, and we moved weed day from 420 to 520, and we recorded an entire episode of Henry and I doing dabs in costumes right after our father passed away last year.
God.
And and I have not gone back to watch this. We called it 520 Blaze It. You can watch Good Pud Presents 520 Blaze It over on the YouTube. And it was us.
An emotional gauntlet. Like,
we didn't cry at all, but we did move the day from 420 to 520. So I guess.
Power that only the Zabrowski, that can only be accomplished by two Zabrowskis joining their powers together.
And that's what we use it for. And honestly, no one's thanking us that this is what we use our powers for. All right?
Yeah.
We're not using it for bad. Sometimes we know 420, it's also a lot of other connotations that people don't want to be celebrating. So let's just move it to 520 because nobody cares about 520.
Yeah. Wait, what are the other connotations? Hitler's birthday?
Hitler's birthday and Columbine.
Oh, shit, I forgot about Columbine.
Yeah, so it's always the Hitler's birthday and Columbine Day. So I feel like then it's like, just make it 520 and then it's right before, usually like a 3-day weekend for like a Memorial Day. I feel like this is better for all of us.
But we can't keep moving things around because bad things keep happening. We just can't. You're never going to get an all good date.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it is why I created Springsgiving though, because then it's Easter, Thanksgiving, but without any genocide attached to it, And then it's just Springsgiving is just
You're such
eating.
a holiday girl and a party girl. And
I am a party girl. Thank you.
You had a party issue I think you wanted to bring up.
I did have a party issue.
What is it?
Here's the thing, guys. I am a bit of a bitch. And there's a reason why we started this show. And it's because sometimes I was really canonically referred to as a bitch for a very, very long time. And I realized it's because I had anger issues that I wasn't working on. But here's the thing. I'm older. I'm grown. I have a better handle on things, which is why I tried to prepare myself. And I didn't know if I was being the bitch in this situation because I was going to a party that was filled with people that were Jeff's friends from it's like all of his like old forever friends. So I've known them for a while. I love them. Part of the issue is that they still interact with an ex of Jeff's that I do not interact well with. I'm not going to get into the behind the scenes, but let's just say the last time I interacted with this person, I had to be physically removed from the party and I had to say to Jeff, if you don't get me away from her, there's going to be a problem. So
Which was about how long ago?
That was probably that was probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, it's been a while.
So it's been some time. It's been some time. And I know that people grow. I know people change. I know that there was maybe like a slipping back into his phone recently that I didn't really appreciate. And it's not slipping when your husband tells you about it, just letting you know. But then I wanted to find out if this person was going to be at the party I was going to. So I asked my husband, is she going to be at the party? And he said, I don't know. And I said, okay. At first, I was going to have him ask the person throwing the party if she was going to be there. And then I realized, no, this is not on him. This is on me.
Have to do your dirty work.
This is on me. So I went to the person throwing the party and I asked if they were going to be there. I find out most likely not, but then I find out like a whole sob story about her. Don't care. All I wanted to know was whether she was going to be there or not.
Yeah.
I then still didn't know the answer, so I was still very, anticipatory of it. However, is it bitchy to go around and ask someone, like if you're going to a party, is so-and-so going to be there? Because if they are, I just need to be able to prepare myself. I didn't even say because I'm not going. Like I didn't even do the whole, difference. Like you have to choose. It was just, I needed to mentally prepare myself if I was going to see her.
I don't think that's bitchy because I think ultimately what you're trying to do is make sure that the vibes at the party are good. And you being prepared is only going to be, you being prepared is only going to help the vibes be good. You know what I mean? Like you being like there being tension the second you walk in and notice a person that you don't like is like not cool.
I think that's what makes me so nervous is I am bipolar, and sometimes when I have big feelings, they absorb, or like everybody can feel if I have a large shift in feeling, and I didn't want to ruin the party.
Right.
But then I was like, or is it that you just, if someone could be there that could do that to you, do you just excuse yourself from the party and not like, in my head, I was like, if she shows up, I'm just going to then leave.
Yeah.
Because I had to control myself.
That's fine.
But I didn't put it on the person
you didn't
throwing
say to the
party.
person. I think that's the difference. I think it's kind of bitchy to go, is someone coming? Because if they are, I'm not coming. That just makes the person throwing the party feel like they have to choose or be shit that's shitty. So I don't like that. Like I was telling you, like I had a friend who my husband became friends with her ex, and she was like, oh, he was not very good to me in our relationship. I don't really like being around him. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like didn't even know that. They just kind of struck up this friendship recently. And then I was like, but she was like, and then she was like, anytime you have a party, will you let me know if he's coming? And I was like, I don't know if I can like keep that straight. I feel like forever.
That's a lot of pressure to put on someone else then. But then I also don't know, or is that just asking for what you need? Like, is that just like, I can't handle it?
You're just asking for information. I think it's like just not stressing a host out, just like asking a host for information. It's the same as like, hey, will there be food or should I bring something? I don't know. It's like, you're just asking for information. Is this person going to be there? Great. Like, don't even add any caveats.
Yes.
Like, just, okay, thanks for letting me know. I
Thanks
just want to know.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Of course, I did do the whole like, oh, that's too bad that she's going through all these things.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I did oh, that sounds so bad. I'm so sorry that she's going through those things.
You're super, super broken up about it.
But I'm not. I don't wish ill upon any person. It's just, I don't really care.
Yeah, you don't have time to give your sympathies, really.
No, I don't. But, it's nice to remember that the spice still is strong within a person, because then I started thinking about if I saw, and I started getting all amped up. And I think it's because of the multiple bouts of going through anger management therapy. I don't usually get myself amped up like that anymore. But man, It was like, because if she's there, because I will. And Jeff's like, you gotta stop. You gotta cool out because we don't know any of this information.
Yeah.
But, I'm just a little bit of a bulldog sometimes when it comes to my partner. And sorry, not sorry. Thank you, Kara. Thank you for igniting me. I think
you're okay, baby.
Thank you. I feel better now, and this is what I needed.
Okay, before we start today's episode, I do want to announce that we are having our next bitchathon.
Yes, summer bitchathon.
And we're giving you 6 weeks to put this on your calendar because I know summer gets busy. There's graduations, but Thursday, June 11. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, Summer Bitchathon.
Yes.
We're going to be taking calls live. That means you can call in, you can watch, you can get into the chat on our YouTube.
Yes, we want to hear from you.
All going to be right here on our YouTube channel. So
YouTube.com/@who'sthebee.
If you've been like emailing us and we haven't answered or something, or you're like, oh, it's going to be too rambly if I leave a message, just that's the perfect time to call in.
Come hang out with us.
Talk to us face to face, or your camera can be off, by the way. Your camera does not have to be off.
For sure.
But let's get started. Today's episode is an update episode. We have a bunch of updates.
Ooh.
And we received a lot of responses from our Dunkin' Donuts thrower.
A lot. I will also say my husband was not agreeing with us when I was like, he's just like, you throw the Dunkis. Sometimes you throw the Dunkis. I was like, you can't throw the Dunkis, Jeff.
Well, listen, there's an update and I'm thrilled. So here we go.
I can't wait for the update.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, Jackie and Kara. It's your favorite Dunkin' hate crimer in the New England suburbs. Took your advice and dropped a little note in the mailbox saying, sorry for losing my temper, trying to look out for the kids in our neighborhood, just let's try together to make sure that our roads are a little safer for the kids getting off the bus.
Good for you, bitch.
And I offered to pay to have his car cleaned in case some of it got inside. Totally normal. I overreacted. Very much working on the immediate reaction right now myself. Something kind of weird happened where his wife showed up at our house like 3 or 4 hours later, and we had a brief conversation where she told me that what he had told people was that I had waited until he got to his driveway and went down there and threw my cup at his parked car, and that there had been a different discussion in their household and with some of our neighbors, and she wanted to get my side of the story. So I kind of told her what happened from my perspective. She talked to a couple of the moms in our neighborhood, and long story short, I'm now the proud owner of a $10 Dunkin gift card, and we have mutually apologized to each other. And his wife is now like kind of a friend, I guess. She's a nice neighbor. So thanks for the advice. Things seem to be patched up, and I guess I'm going to go use my $10 Dunkin gift card to go get the other half of my Dunkin iced coffee.
Yes,
love you guys. Thanks for the advice. Have a great day.
Oh my God, I'm so obsessed.
I love this.
I mean, because okay, first of all, we got a lot of emails and like comments of people being like, it is illegal to pass a bus. We said that. We know that.
Yes.
It's illegal. For some reason, I thought the guy only like kind of tried to get around the bus and then stopped and then was revving his engine and just being a general dick. So that's why I was like, if the guy was zooming past the bus, I would throw a Dunkin. I'd be like, that's fucked up. But I thought it was like he was just being kind of generally aggressive and like maybe making an attempt and then stopping and whatever. So that's why we were kind of like, be careful. Like we had people also call in and say, I would have thrown the Dunkin, but then my law friends tell me like, actually don't do that.
Don't throw
like,
the Dunkin.
That's how people get murdered or whatever. But whatever side we stand on, I think it's so funny that this guy fucking knew he was wrong, and that's why he lied to his wife and all the people in the neighborhood.
And that's how you know
and he was
what?
like, I gotta make her look like a bitch.
Yes.
Or I look like an asshole.
Yes. And then because you wrote the letter, all of it got unwound. We all found out that he ultimately was the bitch from the beginning.
And his wife, what do you think his wife said when she went home?
Oh,
do you think she was like,
interesting.
So, you thought she came to our property and threw something at your car?
Well, the car was parked?
Seems like there were actually you kind of trying to get around a school bus?
Seemed like you were the aggressor and that it got, and I love that it ended with getting a $10 Dunkis gift card. Wow.
The bitch giveth, the bitch taketh away. I mean, you got it back. Or karma, what is it? Like, what goes around, what goes around bitches around.
I thought I knew better. Yeah, babe. That's a JoJo Siwa. Yes. And why you shoulda effed around. And that's what JoJo Siwa was singing about in the song Karma's a Bitch. I am so excited. I want to say thank you for following our advice. Can we just say, you writing the note and Kara telling you to write the note, I love that this is it in action. This is a success.
Listen, if this was like on a random street, you're never going to see this person again, but you got to live 3 doors down from this person. We got to smooth things over and figure it out.
Exactly.
Having a neighbor, like a contentious neighbor thing, is a nightmare.
And then you have to try and avoid them every time you leave your house.
And I bet that guy's never going to try to get around another school bus ever again.
No, because
hopefully.
That embarrassment, I hope. He was so embarrassed of him just being like, okay, yeah, actually the car wasn't parked in the driveway. I was actually driving. And his wife was like, and you were actually driving.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And you were trying to swerve around the bus.
Yeah.
Huh? And what were you doing? And now you're gonna Dunkis that bitch. And we Dunkised her, and congratulations. It is funny, though, because I was explaining the situation on your street, because that night we were going over to your house, Kara. We were going over to your home to have dinner when I was explaining this to Jared, because you live on like kind of a wider street. And I was like, imagine a car where a bus is stopped right here and it swerves around, because Jeff and I were talking about the Dunkis moment. And Jeff was like, man, I would have thrown that fucking Dunkis. I was like, here's the thing. We all would have wanted to throw the Dunkis. I'm just saying we shouldn't be throwing the Dunkis.
Yeah. But it honestly, all worked out.
It's the greatest of all
Kids
the
are going to be
catch-ups.
safer. Callers going to be caffeinated. This is all great.
Thank
We're so
you.
happy to have helped.
Thank you.
Okay. So this next update is from episode, and sorry, in case you were wondering, the Dunkin throw is from 2 episodes ago, episode 80. Okay. And this is from episode 76, where we got a voicemail from a guy who said that he had like just moved in with his girlfriend and like she wanted him to throw a birthday party, but then also when they were moving in together, he hurt his rotator cuff and it was maybe going to affect the birthday party and all this. But really what it was getting down to was that like the intimacy was out of their relationship and he was worried that maybe he had made a mistake moving in with her. And so that was the original call. So he's called to update us a little bit.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, ladies. Thank you so much for reading and responding to my previous submission. I'm happy to give you more information because you guys quickly sifted through it, and the actual situation of the birthday party is not the actual problem. Quick health updates. Rotator cuff is a full tear. I can't afford surgery or time off, so I will be rehabbing it. My back still has pain, but it's not pain or injury to my spine. When the dog stepped on me, it damaged the cord attached to my testicle. I'm still pretty swollen. And when I got the exam, I was a little disappointed he didn't ask me to get my balls up. The party was really great. Everyone was happy. She was all smiles, and she absolutely just shined all night. I was really taking my time and figuring out how I wanted to respond, how much I want to tell, because these are all intimate things between me and my partner, and then I'm just kind of like putting it out there in the world. But more so, I do feel like I'm in a place that I need help with this. And my thoughts are just kind of rushed and pushed together because I woke up this morning with her hand muzzled of my mouth because apparently she can't sleep when I'm breathing, even though I'm not sure how that works when she's wearing a hair mask, a sleep mask, earplugs, and a giant sweater. I don't know how she feels anything. But anyway, yes, there has not been any intimacy in my relationship since November. When I say that, I don't mean just sex. We have yet to just have any extended period of time where we lay naked together. We've made out less times than I can count on my hands. She says it all stems from her previous intimacy issues, how she views her body, how she previously used sex to get attention from males. I mean, we've both done a shit ton of therapy to be where we are. I love and respect her so much for her journey, and I don't ever want to be the sole reason why she would make a change or why she would regress on any of that work. I got on the therapy app early because I was experiencing the lack of intimacy and kind of felt just an overall lack of interest from her. When we got together, I just finished everything with my divorce, like signed, sealed, done. I was working 2 jobs and overnight jobs until October this year. And I was like running out of things to ask and like just how to get to know this person. I knew therapy was her language. So we started the app and it was great. They give you questions every day and then a quiz once a week. And, it encourages honesty. But like her responses are single word responses. And she'll go weeks at a time without doing it. And I have sometimes paragraph responses, but she does ask me about it. We went into the therapy app because we were having troubles in our relationship, and it didn't make sense to us because we have the same kind of goofy. We're the same kind of weird. We both enjoy going to the gym. We have fitness in our life. The past 2 years, I've lost over 85 pounds, and I flushed my antidepressants down the toilet because I couldn't stay consistent with them, but I could stay consistent with the gym, and it gave me the same kind of feeling. But my injuries are keeping me out of the gym. So, I've got that on top of my crippling depression, and I'm just wrestling all these bears. I know her love languages are acts of service, words of affirmation. She says physical touch, but I have no idea where she's getting that. I'm a person that likes to care and provide for my people. I felt when we moved in together, having that much time together, taking care of her house, taking care of her dogs, having hot meals, a clean sink, clean laundry, ready for her every day would be enough of her love language that she would bridge and want to give me mine.
Yeah.
But I know I'm a bitch for thinking that would work, and even more of a bitch for being upset that it didn't.
Wow.
We are currently living together. We've both been honest and open. I feel like we hear each other. Currently, we don't kiss each other hello, goodbye, good night. I asked that we not do those routine interactions if we're not having any spontaneous or wants for any other interactions, because like it just felt like nothing, and it was actually like making me mad. I feel like I see and understand her. I don't take this personal or think that she doesn't want me. I understand and hear her that she just doesn't need this intimacy, but I need it. Anyways, I hope this helps get a little deeper into what I'm going through. Thank you so much for meeting my submission, and just thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Sending you so much love.
Love that you're so self-actualized, self-aware.
And genuinely working on this with such care and genuinely trying to come at it with such honesty and vulnerability that a lot of people already have such a difficult time doing, and you're there. And that is beautiful. What a wonderful perspective that you are getting of hearing what we said, of taking it back, of utilizing in your relationship, of trying to use the therapy app and trying to open up this conversation. You're both doing so many things right. The huge thing that is glaring that you ended it with, that I wrote down, was she doesn't need intimacy, but I need it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It sucks because there's so many ways you guys are like amazing partners to each other, but that's big.
And that is huge. And here's the thing. I hear you when you say, like, I've asked her to even stop doing the morning goodbye kisses because it's not leading to anything and you're not having that connection.
Like perfunctory.
And it feels, performative and feels... My only issue is that I know that in working, like I talk with a sex therapist who's a good friend of mine, and we've talked about these kind of things at length, and talking specifically when trying to add, like, and now this is more about, I had talked to her about specifically people that were trying to get their a connection back in a relationship, especially like after children or after like a large event or like after a trauma, and part of it is actually the opposite of the stopping of kissing because it doesn't lead anywhere, and it's start, but understanding that for you, that's not what was working, and that's okay. What works for both of you to add intimacy and connection, though? Because, all right, if it's not kissing every, before you leave each other, is it hugging each other for 10 seconds and staying there and actually feeling the hug between you two? Of what other ways that you can have connection that could sate you? But I really, unfortunately,
I know. I think that's like
day,
what you're talking about is something I was thinking about too. Is like, sorry to interrupt you. It's just I agree with you. Because I think I've known so many people who have gone through these long patches of no intimacy in the relationship.
Yes, because it's especially
very
long
common.
Relationships.
Children, all the things you talked about, all the things you mentioned. The only thing that's making me nervous in this situation is it's like from the jump. It feels like I don't know if you guys have like ever really had the level of intimacy that you're looking for. And so it's not like you guys, a lot of people I would say, ride it out. There's ways you can there's peaks and valleys in these kind of things.
If
and you're going to get back to it if you both want that. But like you guys have not had what you want, it sounds like, in this aspect of your relationship since the beginning.
And you're not, it doesn't seem going to get it from her.
It's going to happen.
And it's the acknowledgement of, I think that you two are never going to, it seems, because you are so openly talking to her about it. And it does seem like you both are trying in the ways that you feel that you can try. And she just doesn't want it the same way that you do. And while we can, if both people are trying to actively move, you could work with a sex therapist. There are definitely avenues that you could be going down to both be advocating for yourselves in different situations, especially because, like you said, your partner has gone through a past traumatic experience. And I think a lot of people with human bodies have also gone through a lot of those things. So you don't want to push somebody. You don't want to, completely understandable. It is just, your needs matter also.
Yeah. That she could end up with a partner who has not that many physical intimacy needs.
Yes, and
that's fine.
And that's completely
they're
great.
more compatible in that sense.
I also have been in the relationships from the rip where I'm like, okay, I feel my sex drive is a lot bigger than, or a lot like higher than their sex drive. So I'm just gonna keep going, and you know, maybe. And I guess in my head I'm like, but everybody loves to fuck. And I'm not saying that you are saying this at all. I'm saying that's where my brain used to be of like, oh, they'll come around to it eventually. Where that's not true. Everyone requires different and wants and needs different levels of intimacy. And it's finding someone in this world that you're compatible with. It is harder to do than I feel like back in like the 90s, early 2000s. It was just like, oh, even not that long ago was the rhetoric of all men want to fuck all the time and ladies never do. It wasn't that long ago that was still what people were saying of like, no, all human beings require different levels of intimacy, require different levels of desire, require different levels of everything because we're all individuals. And so it's hard enough finding someone that you get along with and that you want to spend your time with anyway. Yeah. But then on top of it, finding someone that also matches your intimacy level, or at least has the desire to want to work towards matching you, because everybody has different boundaries.
And plenty of people are like, oh, the fucking's great. The rest of it's terrible.
And the rest of it else is horrible. And so it's,
you know, but I'll just say too, like, take care of yourself, because like you've got all this stuff going on with like not being able to work out, and that's kind of been working as like your mental health.
But it's also affecting your mental health as well.
Yeah, so I wouldn't like, maybe let's try to rehab the rotator cuff and sort of get where your mental health is in a good spot before you make any like maybe full permanent decisions about this.
Correct.
I would say.
I do think that if there's,
I do like wonder if. Like, I would like to know if you can like picture what it would look like if you guys like weren't together, and, you know?
Right. Because you've done everything that you feel in your ways of creating intimacy, even the way that you keep your home together. You are trying to create intimacy in other ways because you need it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a continued conversation with your partner, and we would love to hear from you again for sure, because I do hope.
Yeah, let us know what happens. I mean, especially because I get that. I can tell from your voicemail how much you love this person.
I know.
So I wonder, like, if there is a way that you can stay in each other's lives,
or like even
but without
that, like,
the romance.
You can't do, like, I know that it's difficult with like your rotator cuff and like with the damaged cord and everything, but like, is there a way, I know that this is silly, you both love to work out. Could you go on like hikes after work? Like ways in which you're also connecting in that way that like you can't connect while working out together anymore. So still having that, because that's also another form of like something that will make you both feel good while you're doing something that makes you feel good. Because we all know too, when you want to be working out and you're told you can't, it drives you crazy of just like the limitations of your body, and then thinking of the limited, like, and I feel like we spiral, and it is because our working, like exercising, is so inextricably linked with our mental health as well. Remind yourself that you're also going through, and on top of the world right now, we're all going through so much.
Yeah.
So that's why, like you said, Kara, don't just immediately be like, then it's not working, this isn't working, because you're doing it. You guys are working through things. Yeah. But we wanted to remind you that your intimacy needs are also very important.
Yes. I don't think anybody's thinking that you're like, well, I do all the dishes, why am I not getting fucked?
No,
I mean,
because you're not
basically
saying that.
Like, these are her needs. I try to meet those for connection. She's not really like doing the app as much. She's not trying to meet your needs. And I understand she has her own things, and like maybe there's more therapy to be had on her end or whatever. But even with the one-word answers to therapy, like you're trying. Yeah, you're trying.
You are really.
At least we're getting your point of view, and you're trying.
You're right. And again, we are getting your point of view. But like, is there a reason? Like maybe with the one-word answers, going to her and being like, maybe these questions aren't specifically the kind of questions you into. What are you like? What gets her lit up that she's down to talk about? If it becomes like with intimacy, like looking for specifically intimacy questions of ways in which to like become vulnerable, and ways in which you can talk to each other and put yourself into different situations of trying different things together, you know, and I know that this is silly, but it's like even on those shows like Married at First Sight and all that kind of stuff, these activities that people are put through of ways to like get to know each other in different ways again and see different perspectives of our partner and trying new things together.
Yeah, and if like she's just become asexual or something, then that's also like important. Whether you have to figure out
how do you feel about that?
Like maybe she's open to you seeking physical intimacy outside the
other
relationship,
places.
like being open.
There's also that too.
I don't know, but I don't know how that lands for everybody.
I do hope that you guys two talk further because you are, I just want to commend you. You're doing, you are really are trying to attack this in a very beautiful, empathetic, and vulnerable way. And I really hope the best for you both.
Yeah, me too. I want you guys to stay in each other's lives. But I also want you to get what you need.
I know.
Okay, let's move on to our next update. This is from episode 77.
Great.
Where our caller on that original one had said, I'm at the time I think was 6 months pregnant or something, or 7 months pregnant, was like, my husband just keeps going, what do you think? Throwing it to me all the time, remember? And I'm like pregnant, I'm doing all this mental load stuff with my pregnancy, and like we're trying to hang art, and he's just asking me, okay, where should this one go? Where should this one go? Right. And she was getting frustrated. So she sent us a little update.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, ladies. I'm calling in with an update. You guys read my voicemail about being pregnant and feeling like my husband was always looking at me for direction or for a plan, and that making me very, irritable because I felt like it was adding to the mental load that I had to figure everything out. So here's my update, and apologies in advance if I burp or anything, because I am now 8 months pregnant and just ate my lunch as if I might have been performing mukbangs for my cat. So I wish I could say that I took your advice and we sat down and had this lovely, calm conversation. But of course I didn't. What did happen is a couple weeks after we got into another stupid fight over, of all things, moving the furniture before a handyman came to install curtains in our apartment. So basically, my husband was asking me what the plan was for moving the furniture out of the way so he could work. I was immediately irritated that, one, why did we even need a plan for moving furniture? Isn't it just like they come, we move the furniture over,
and then you move it back?
That's it. And also, he was getting frustrated because I was just basically saying, why do we need a plan? So it ended up boiling over, and we both got really kind of upset with each other. But then I used the advice you ladies gave and, really sat down with him and said, like, what is going on? Like, what is causing this tension between us? I explained my point of view, that I felt like it was all this pressure on me to always have a plan or to be giving direction to him. And I didn't feel that was fair when I'm already kind of juggling a mental load of a lot with preparation of a baby coming. And he told me that he felt like, he's a bit of an anxious guy. He needs a plan. And he felt like when he ever suggested anything, I immediately just kind of shut it down with a no, which, to be fair, I'm pretty good at admitting when I'm wrong. And I do that sometimes, especially, say, in the situation with the furniture. Before he could really say we should move it here, I was like, well, no, why would we do that? That's stupid. And that's not very good partner behavior on my part. So we talked through this and kind of how we need to approach communication better. Because, like, for example, I didn't understand, like, what the big deal was with needing to move the furniture. Like, in my opinion, the guy comes, if he needs access to something, we move things. But he tends to kind of catastrophize, and his thought was, we don't come, they just disrespect our stuff. We've gotten some, new furniture pieces. They immediately scratch it because we didn't move it or protect it. So, if I knew why he was asking me, I might be more receptive. So, we were really coming at it with 2 points of view, where he was on edge because he felt like anything he suggested I was going to immediately, shut down.
Yeah.
And that he needed a plan and he wasn't getting one. And I was immediately annoyed because I felt like I was being asked to make the plan for something that I didn't even think really needed planning. So all that said, it's gone pretty well now. We even had a little potential kerfuffle picking out a car seat and a stroller. And instead we took a beat and I said, what do you think I'm not hearing? He told me. I repeated exactly what he said he needed. I repeated back to him what I was seeing in the situation, realized that we actually kind of were on the same page and just not communicating it better. And we picked a stroller and, things seem to be going better. So thank you, ladies, for your advice. Feeling a lot better about our communication going into this next chapter. And pray for me as I battle the third trimester and hopefully get out on the other end.
Yes,
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, my God, Kara.
I know. I'm like such a proud mom, I feel like right now.
I feel like I was just like, I'm so happy. So happy for you to hear that. And and even though you weren't able to do the like calmly go and talk about it outside of, which is completely
it just had to
understandable.
blow up one more time.
It had to
and
blow
then
up
you
one
were
more
like,
time.
okay, now let me try to use these tools.
Let's get into this. And you did it. That's so amazing.
And it's going to be so good that you have already started this process.
These
because when the
tools.
baby comes, there's a lot of that, especially like when you're the mom. Like there's a lot of like, okay, now what do you want me to do? Because I'm just like the dad. I don't even know,
It's all
like
on the mom.
And they ask a lot of questions. They're like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And sometimes you're just like, I don't fucking know.
Just make
like,
a decision.
So, and we are the same. Like my husband's like, I don't ask you. He's basically like, I just know you're going to shut me down because I do that. I'll be like, that's a dumb idea. We shouldn't do it that way because he's like my closest person in the world. And I feel very open with being like so rude to him, which is bad. And I'm working on it.
And we're working on it, but that's why. But at the same time, it was so good for caller in to hear that of like, I know for all intents and purposes, like, I'm a little scared of you. And because you kind of just shut me down. And so, but I loved hearing his perspective of, and I'm anxious about everything. And so he needs more validation.
Yeah.
And it is understanding that he needs more validation than you do in circumstances such as these. And I get it. As a forever worrier and forever needer of validation, I do require a lot of validation from my partner. So I completely understand.
Yeah.
And if I was getting shut down, I also would probably clam up and at the same time still want to know in the same way, Kara, that like I defer to you. You are the mother hen in this duo. I do defer to you because you know better than I do.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
And I ask how you, because see, I don't really do this. I don't do it as much outside of my personal
no, not
marriage.
outside
like,
of your
I
marriage.
would never do you go, no, that's dumb.
No,
if
you
I
would
didn't
never.
like your idea, I would be like, okay, I was kind of thinking about it this way. What do you think?
You would never
like
speak.
whatever.
No,
But
yeah,
I
you
just,
don't speak to other
I
people
just
like
cut
that.
out all of the niceties with a husband, and I think
You don't have
sometimes
time.
we do that.
Yes.
We do that in our we do that with our siblings. Like,
yes,
I'm much ruder to my siblings than I am with anybody else.
Oh, am I?
Like to just be like, well, that's fucking dumb. Why'd you do it that way?
Yeah.
But
why do you think with someone with a brother boss, we don't have official meetings without other people in the meetings, and not because we're not best friends. It's just like because you have to
need
be
a mediator.
Boss. You have to be a boss and not talk to me like my brother.
But I'm so glad that you guys figured it out over the stroller thing, because I'm a person also who's constantly working on my ability to stop thinking about, I'm sorry, let me rephrase this. I'm a person that's constantly working to not get into I want to win this argument thing. Like, and I'll just be like, well, no, because, and then it's like, wait, stop. What are we both trying to get here?
What are we both trying to say?
What do you want? What do I want?
I'm so proud of you guys.
That's really great. I'm excited. Third trimester, babe. I mean, this honestly.
Any advice, Care?
I mean, you feel like a house. Oscar was sitting on my sciatic nerve. But honestly, it's like you're you don't feel bad you don't, at least for me, I'm sorry, I had bad morning sickness first trimester and then it went away. Some people have it the entire time. So if you're one of those people, I'm sorry. But in general, you're usually feeling a little bit better. You're just massive and dealing with your physical form.
Yes.
But it's just, it's all going to happen, whatever.
Yeah. And, sometimes you want, what is it on The Pit? What she wanted? She's like, I want a free birth. I don't know if you watched I don't know if it was the final episode.
I haven't seen the final.
I'm not giving anything else. It was just literally a woman was like, no, it's a free birth. I don't want any medical intervention whatsoever. It's a free birth. And I just had not heard the phrase free birth. Yeah.
No medical intervention.
No medical
I've
intervention.
heard unmedicated, but they're still they're still.
Or it's like wild birth.
Yeah. Why would we want to know what the baby's heart rate is in case they have a problem? Why would we need that? So dumb. Okay.
Boring.
Thank you so much for giving us the update and best of luck.
I'm so happy for you guys.
Okay. Our next one. So this one is from a little bit ago. This is from episode 66.
Okay.
So I think this came out at the very beginning of the year. And it was a fellow called in about how his uncles had kind of like abandoned his mom when she got cancer.
Oh.
And like he was like, do I reach out to my uncles now and try to form a relationship with them? And so I like getting one from the vault because this is from a little farther back.
Yes.
And let's see what he has to update us with.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hello, Kara and Jackie.
Hi.
I have a little bit of an update. My name is Danny. I called in about my witchy mom and my bye-bye uncles. I think you aired my question in the New Year's episode. Thank you so much for getting back to me. I do owe you a little bit of an apology because I left out some crucial information. I was really flustered when I called in because, first of all, I was kind of a little bit zooted. Second of all, Jackie's been my number one celebrity crush since high school, and I'm 31. And also, Kara, you're like the most boss-ass bitch I think I've ever even tangentially interacted with.
Don't give her shotguns through a CD hole.
Anyways, so I was saying how, my uncles kind of abandoned my mom in her time of need when my aunt died because, you already know. I said it back then. But what I failed to mention, and in your responses, I realized this was a pivotal point of information. I don't live in the same state as my uncles, and I never have. Kara, you were like, you should just drop by, dude, and have a beer with your uncles. And I was like, damn, I would love to do that. I don't have the physical means to do that. Financially, transportationally, even as an adult, unfortunately. That's how it goes. But I do have phone numbers and emails. I have reached out to my uncles and crickets, dude. Crickets. It's sad, but I guess I am calling back. First of all, to explain that I'm sorry I didn't include that information before, because that seems like a big oversight on my part. Also, I want to add the context that when my mom and her brothers, my uncles, were young, their dad and younger sister also, unfortunately, this is insane, perished from falling through the ice on a snowmobile. I think that what bothers me the most is the lack of empathy about going through not the same, but a similar kind of loss situation. And really, most of all, because I didn't get a fruitful result, I'm still calling in to update you. Kind of also to bitch to the other bitchlings, just extend the message that family is not expendable. Please do not take your family relationships for granted. These things mean so much for so many reasons. Like, there's always a bridge if there is a bridge, you know? At least do what you can to repair the damages with your family. I mean, you know, in my case, I have some like old emails from my uncles, so I don't even know if they saw me trying to repair these bridges.
Yeah.
But like, all of this is to say, first of all, thank you guys for addressing my concerns on your show. I fucking love it. It's amazing. And thank you for building community. And I'm hoping that your community can, you know, be a little softer with their family if possible, because these things mean so much. They really do. I don't know if I'll ever get to talk to my uncles again. Probably not, honestly. And maybe they don't even deserve my fucking love at this point, dude. I'm trying. I'm out here trying. But either way, you know, I just wanted to come give you an update because I think it's been enough time. I can definitively say it's probably cooked. This goose is probably cooked.
Is cooked,
oh,
babe.
man. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much. I listen to your show every week at work. You make my week. Thank you, guys. Good luck with everything, and happy spring. Happy full moon.
Yes.
Night-night.
Oh, Danny boy.
I love this.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
I don't love it. I don't love the result, but I like, I mean, I like, listen, we have told people you have to set boundaries with your family, and sometimes you got to step back. I know that there's a whole debate going on right now about like fully excommunicating family members and stuff like that. And I do think, like every other thing in the world, overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed, right?
There's
sure. A lot of people that are braving through with some really toxic parents, and there's a lot of people that are cutting off family members for stuff that's a little bit not cut off worthy.
Right. And it's also, I think that it is fascinating. I find that a lot of, you know, I can only speak as a millennial of like being able to look on our past relatives and relations and start to have a lens of, oh, wow, they were or are very mentally ill, and being able to see relationships in different ways. Not that that means that that's a reason to maintain a relationship if someone is not willing to like get the help that they have to get and things like that. It is just, it's crazy to think that like there were so many generations. I know I can speak of my family that would just like wrote people off. They were just like, oh, well, that was just batshit. Well, that was just crazy. And then looking back, it's like, man, if someone had just tried to get them the help that they need for like my schizophrenic aunt, I feel like maybe it wouldn't have just been, well, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and let's move on. And I feel like there was so much of that now we can look at things in different lights. And I'm so sorry to Danny for not getting and like to reaching out to your uncles and just to crickets to hear that, and to that you're right, family is not expendable, but also family that does not want to, that is not going to reach out their hand and reach back is also not worth your time either, Danny. And you are putting in the work and trying, and it's not fair because you don't deserve that. And you don't deserve crickets. You don't deserve silence. And especially, like you said, after the trauma of what they had gone through as children.
But that's so boomer to me. Like, honestly, that gave me even more clarity on why the way they are. I think
of course they shut it out.
You're 31, so you're like, you've gone through a hard thing. Why can't you understand that I went through a hard thing? That's not how they think.
No.
Like, they're literally like, no, we went through the hardest thing imaginable.
And we didn't talk about it.
That is an unspeakable tragedy. And the way we got through it was never talking about it and never accessing our feelings. And that's exactly what we're going to keep doing. And unfortunately, that's led to a lot of problems worldwide, societally. But I like the way people will be like, the younger generations are too emotional, whatever. Everybody's getting therapy. Everybody's talking about their feelings a lot more. It's way better over here.
It's getting better.
On this side of history.
I'd rather this.
But I mean, I think it's like, it explains to me. I'm like, they just don't access their emotions that way, because that's, the snowmobile. That's a lot.
That's crazy. But thank you for sharing that and for adding all of that in. And that does make sense.
I love what you said. There's always a bridge if there is a bridge.
Yes.
And sometimes there isn't a bridge.
You're right.
But there's always a bridge if there is a bridge.
Right.
Like, so for some reason, that really hit for me.
And also, and like you said, you had those bridges. You made the bridges, and they didn't.
The bridge is
accept
there.
It. Yes.
If they're gonna cross, you set the bridge up. as long as these emails work, you built the bridge. It's not, you can't walk over it for them.
No.
So that's on them.
I'm sending you so much love, and I just want to say thank you so much for giving us this update, because I think that this was really important to hear, especially in these update emails that we're receiving. We also love hearing updates like this too, because it's not all just going to be like, and then I got a Dunkis gift card. These updates also matter because life doesn't get wrapped up in a little bow. It's we all wish that a lot of these things were as easy as like what Kara say of like, you just do this or you just do that. And we know that that's not the case. So thank you, Danny, for calling in and letting us know about what was going on.
A+ compliments up top. Damn. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to our one last one.
Okay.
And this is a follow-up from just a few episodes ago, episode 79.
Okay.
Where a roommate was living in her friend's house and her friend was having sex. And she
on the couch. Yes.
Well, she was having sex in her room and just was like being loud about it and kind of disregarding. And had a friend that was coming and was like, I don't really like when she has sex in the house with other people there or whatever. And so she gave us an update. So here it is.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, ladies. I am calling back. I called in about my roommate and hearing her have sex, and I'm here to answer questions and provide more context.
Yes.
So, yes, I do pay to live on the top floor. Obviously, she has a master bedroom, so she's on the bottom floor. I don't know why I said, I guess maybe the 2 times. I said 2 times because maybe those were the times, like, that I had definitely been more than 2 times.
Okay.
Maybe 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And my issue is not with her having sex. It's the fact that I can hear it. I think my issue with not wanting to have sex when anyone is there stems from hearing her have sex.
Mm-hmm.
And because it made me so uncomfortable, I didn't ever want to put anyone in that situation where they would be uncomfortable hearing me have sex. I will say, since I sent that call, I have had sex while there's been people in the house, and it's been fine. I've just been quiet about it. So I guess that's what I didn't. My biggest issue is her acting like it's a big deal to, or maybe not her acting like, well, okay, she does have the right to have sex. I get that. And you guys are right about that. It's just the fact that she doesn't seem to agree.
The flippancy.
Yeah.
About being courteous.
Yes.
I guess. Because for her, it's like, if she wants to have sex, she's just going to have sex. And I have even made comments to her like, well, why don't you just put on some music or something, you know? Like, I just don't want to hear it. And there was one time I brought my mom over, and her bedroom is right off the living room and the kitchen. I was like pretty sure I could hear them having sex. It was like weird because my mom was there. But I will say, here's one thing I want to say. Way back, like 3 years ago, we were both dating different guys. We went to stay at my ex's lake house, and we had spent the whole week together. And at one point, we were cooking dinner, and she tells me, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go have sex real quick, and then, we can continue this conversation. And her and her boyfriend went and had sex, and then just came back, and we're acting like everything was normal. I don't know. I guess that was, like, a little bit, it was weird for me. But I think, you guys are definitely right in the sense of we just have different feelings about sex. And I think she's a little bit more open. But my biggest issue was with my friends. It was just 2 friends coming to stay over. And of course, I have a couch upstairs. So they could totally sleep upstairs. The couch downstairs is definitely more comfortable. But it was the fact that she was acting like she couldn't just be courteous and like be quiet whenever my friends were over. It sounded like, to me, whenever we were talking about it, she's just like, well, where are they sleeping? Because I'm going to have sex. So if they hear it, it's not my fault.
And I just feel like it's not that big of a deal to just be mindful of not having people hear you have sex. Yeah, I think that was it. Thank you guys so much for taking my call. And yeah, I definitely am a solo living person, and I've realized that now. But hey, in this economy,
I know
who can afford to live by themselves?
You're right. I know it.
Anyway, love you guys so much. I hope that provided some answers to your question.
Yes. It completely does.
Yes.
It completely
I get
answered.
it. I get it.
She's
'Cause
rude.
it's like,
she's being rude to you.
Because it's like, you could just be like, hey, I know you like to have lots of sex. Tonight, while my friends are sleeping on the couch downstairs, would it be okay if you just like try to keep it a little bit quiet?
If my mom's over,
you
can
know
you just
what?
keep it a little
For a little
quiet?
sexy, kinky girl, it can be kind of fun to be quiet. Just try it.
Don't get me started. Oh, I'd love to have a conversation with your roommate to explore the fun of having fun with volume in the bedroom. I think that there is something there that she could learn. But here's the thing. What we really solidify from this is that at the end of the day, of course, it's about the sex, but really it's about the fact that you're coming to her saying, I have this issue. She is not validating you at all. She is not even trying to say like, oh, I understand where you're coming from. You're not being heard whatsoever. That's where I feel like we're getting this so much more from this update than we were getting from the other one. And I think that maybe, hopefully, the caller also understands that as well, that I feel like it's beyond just sex, because I imagine there's probably also other things. There has to be. Is this really the only thing that you guys have issues with where you say, I'd love it if you didn't do X, Y, and Z, and she just went, oh, wouldn't you love that? You know, I feel like I imagine that there's probably at least something else that's happening in a roommate situation that might also be ticking this up a couple more notches in some capacity, whether it's coming from her or whether it's coming from you. And I feel like this now needs to be I think a conversation of, I think it's beyond the sex. I think it's just, I'd love some more respect between the two of us, since I am a paying
even though it's
person
her
in this
house,
home.
And if you're paying rent, then you deserve
You're
some.
paying rent. And I can't remember if I had said that for this one specifically, but I feel like I would want to outline a little bit more of, you can't tell someone when they can and cannot have sex. That's true. But I guess it just sucks if it has to get to a place that I feel like I would go to her and say, I don't want to invite anyone over anymore because of how I feel you're making the home that I pay for. And I'd love to explore that because I do pay rent for this home and I'd like to be respected in my own home. And as well, because it's both of your homes. I would say, do you have a renters agreement? Like, are you on the lease? Or do you have this
with
stuff
like a friend,
written
it's a little
down? Because
dicey.
it does get dicey, especially because, she owns the home. Like, the friend owns the home. So it does get dicey because you're right. In this economy, who can even afford to live alone? But I would maybe say if you have another conversation with her and this is something that continues, I would feel that I would look for a different roommate situation, someone where I could, because this is outside of just the sex. You feel uncomfortable in your own home. And now it is at a place where she could have sex a little bit quiet. Like, she could at least meet you. You're like, as long as you're not saying you can never have sex ever again, because I think you coming at her like that is not going to get you anywhere. If you say, hey, I've been feeling really uncomfortable about this, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable about this anymore, and I'd really like to continue working, like living here. Is there anything we can figure out to try to meet in the middle here? Because I feel like I don't want to tell you have to completely change, but I need to be met at least halfway here so that I can feel validated in my own home. And I don't think that there is anything wrong with that, and see where it moves from there. And if not, start looking for a new situation, because
But I like that you went and had sex.
I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of you that you had sex and that you still went
and
through
you were able
with
to
it, and that
feel like
you were
it was
able
okay
to,
in your own
that
home.
you did it,
Good
and
for
that you were able to have sex where it wasn't this like loud, crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes down to also when someone feels uncomfortable in that respect as well in their own home, it can lead to being uncomfortable in many other ways. And especially with like everyone has different sexual pasts and different experiences as well, that you don't want to feel that way in your own home, uncomfortable about any kind of sex stuff. So I think at this point, it's one more conversation where you start looking for somebody else, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're like, unless you're just like, my friends are going to sleep upstairs. This is, I guess, but it's like you said, there's got to be another way that this is not. Is there another way that this is manifesting, this discourteousness?
Right.
Or is it just the sex?
Right. Because you even said it's like 5 or 6 times. And even that, I feel like if she's already doing this, and I am assuming here, I would assume there's maybe a couple of other things of like, well, it's my house and fair, but you also pay money.
Yeah.
And it's also your home as well.
And it's, again, it's like it's the reaction. It's just like, I just like, but if your reaction was a little bit different. Friend, but I mean, she's a wild one. She goes, oh, you know what? Can we put a pin in this conversation? I'm just going to go get it in real quick. I'll be right back.
Like, because I remember when we were in our 20s, when you said this in the voicemail, I had a remembrance of a drunk memory of people that it was 2 friends of mine that were dating they were in the original like parts of dating, and I was getting to know her, and she's like, can you just hold on a second? And I remember she went with the person that I was better friends with. They went into the bathroom, definitely had sex, and then came out and tried to have the conversation. And I remember being so drunk that I was like, could you not even finish the conversation we were having? You had to go bang him? We're in the middle of a conversation. You had to go bang him right now? And
to me, that's indicative of like who this person is. And that has to spill out into other ways that are not just the sex stuff.
Yes.
It's gotta, I mean, like, there's gotta be a way in which she's like, oh, I don't know, my dishes, I don't give a fuck. I don't know. There's got to be other ways that this is manifesting. But let us know. I mean, let us know. I get it. It's a tough world out there. If you've got a good living situation, it's, it's
hard to get rid of
things.
But master bedroom on the front, on the bottom floor, that's something you got. Or does she take the top floor then? And I know it's, but I mean, it's her house. So I know that would never, ever happen.
That ain't gonna fly.
But it's like, well, then then go upstairs and go like Miss Havisham, fuck your way through the attic then, I guess.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who left us a voicemail update today. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing these updates. We always say update us. And suddenly we just got a bunch of updates at once. And I was so happy, especially our Dunkin criminal. That was wonderful.
Our Dunkin criminal. Not Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Even though he's not a criminal,
I'm normally talking about Ben Affleck. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, you can submit at who'sthebitch.com. Tells you all the different ways, email, voicemail, or DM. And then catch us at the Bitchathon on June 11th.
We'll see you there. Thank you all for your updates, and we'll hear from you guys soon.
Yes.